Hi Gemini, welcome to your August 2018 reading. Your ruler Mercury is in retrograde and it is probably causing a bit of mischief. That's the sort of the theme for this month is mischief. I think your communication may not be coming across as very clear with the people you're dealing with this month, Gemini. To have it in your third house, which is Leo, of communication as it is, you're typically a third house sign. It just means that it's incredibly heightened. And to have Mars retrograding in your sector of travel also means that you may be having some delays in the traveling area. But good news is that we have Venus move into your sign of true love and romance, which is really fluffy and really pretty. So while your communication may be a bit problematic in many areas and you may need to proofread everything you're putting out there, especially if you're a Gemini, if you are a Gemini, if you're watching this, you might not be, you might be a cross watcher or Gemini moon, but the importance of having someone double check what you're putting out there if you're a journalist or a social media influencer, a blogger, yada 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 yada, or even just an author, just an author. If you're an author, whatever way, shape, or form communication is coming through to you this month, you may not be coming across entirely authentic or entirely as you mean. So be prepared for people to be doing that thing that people do, and Gemini people in general, where they're like, what did you say? What do you mean? Because I sometimes feel with Gemini people that I know, especially when you see them that are celebrities, they're oftentimes the people that are picked apart for what they said. They say something off the cuff and suddenly everyone's like, and that's kind of a Gemini thing. And this month it may actually be more intense, but with Venus there, it means that at least you're going to be coming across as incredibly attractive, incredibly sassy, and incredibly alluring to romantic prospects. So there is a plus. Okay, there is a plus. And that's going to be incredibly good for the air signs. It's a sign of relief and a little bit more light-hearted energy after this Mars retrograde in Aquarius. That moves, by the way, into Capricorn on the 13th, which is your 8th house. So in terms of, progress in 8th house matters, you may have had issues with inheritance that have come up again. It could be other people's money, the way you deal with other people's money. If you work in finance, expect big changes, expect to possibly have to put in more hours in the workplace. If you're dealing with financial problems or other people's money, if you're in law, for example, dealing with wills, etc. And even those of you that work in funeral parlors or undertakers, expect the unexpected there. And I don't mean like unexpected as in someone comes back to life, because that would be very odd. And I mean just in general, the 8th house areas. So check the 8th house area and see if any of it applies to you. But whew, let's just get into the cards, because this retrograde's actually hitting me really hard. And I'm definitely waffling now, so. There's also a full moon in Pisces at the end of the month, on the 26th, which is really pretty. It's a mysterious side of the moon, and it's going to reveal something that you didn't actually expect to happen. It's a mystery that gets solved. And as a Gemini, it's maybe not affecting you as much as the other signs, but check if you have a lot of Cancer in your chart and where it is in your chart, because it may affect that. Or if you have a moon or rising in a water sign, it may affect that too. I think a lot of Geminis that watch tarot readings and horoscopes and stuff typically do have water sign energy, so I'm going to explain it anyway. For you, that is your 10th house of career, so you may have a really clear message come through, and now this could come through in a dream, because Piscean energy is very dreamy. It could be a dream, it could be just your imagination running away with you, and you think, that's what I want to do, that is the area I want to pursue in my life, that is the way I want my career to look. And suddenly you have this like epiphany of where you want to go with your career and what it is you want to do, especially if you've never known. This could be an aspect where you finally figure that out. So that's positive. And we have the star, which is wish fulfillment. So that, I think that's a sign that something in your something out there in the ether that you've wished for finally happens. Now I want to say, because this came up for Leo too, I want to say this may happen from the 17th of August onwards, because Mercury goes direct on the 20th, and I think your wish fulfillment is probably going to start happening around then. It's crossed by the Tower. So you may have had a very intense Mars moment with this Aquarian energy, because the Tower represents Mars, the star represents Aquarius, Mars in Aquarius currently retrograding. You may have found this aspect quite challenging. Now, some of you may have been hoping to move abroad or travel or get a new home. Maybe the plans fell through. Maybe you planned to put in a greater commitment and it was built on shaky foundations and it's all crumbled and you've had to start again. But there's hope there, because this is what's challenging you, but the star is what you have. That's what you're beginning with. So as long as you have hope, anything can be rebuilt. This may actually have involved a physical move. It may have been an emotional move. This is Swords energy, and this is a transition. Six of Swords is all about transition. She's sailing from one aspect to another aspect, one area to another area. Now, you may not be entirely enthusiastic about having to start something again. You may be getting offers from an Aquarius person that you're not excited about as well, or you're uncertain about. Gonna sneeze. No, I'm not. Okay. The Fool energy. A brand new beginning. There is a transition here. See, with the Six of Swords and the Fool, you're definitely moving on from something and you're moving towards something greater. So I think this Tower moment has been very positive in creating a shift. You're doing somewhat of a quantum leap, where you've been in one part for a long time and then suddenly you're over here. People might not be understanding this as much. They may think your decisions are foolish, but you're trusting yourself and you're deciding that what you want to do and what you know is best for you is what you're going to pursue. It may be a challenging thing, but I think you're going after what it is that you want, even though it seems kind of hard. Because the Ten of Wands can be a lot of burdens. It may be that you're overdoing it, taking on too many projects because you're enthusiastic about a lot of things. It may be that the new commitments are weighing you down and having to rebuild something is really getting you down. Because this is the work you're putting in after your Tower moment. Also see the Nine of Swords, which means you may be having sleepless nights. That came up there for Leo too. Three of Cups. Strong support system, but emphasis on the third house, communications. Making sure that you're as crystal clear as you can be, particularly with your peers and your workmates. You're very afraid of the Ten of Swords moment. I think you've possibly decided you want to rebuild something with somebody that you had a Ten of Swords moment with, or you're trying to rebuild a career after a Ten of Swords moment. Something is requiring a lot of effort. And to rebuild something under this climate can seem particularly challenging when your own ruler is retrograding. If you also, because the Fool card's here, if you also have Aries in your moon or your rising, with Mars retrograding, you could be feeling this energy very, very, very intensely. So be more gentle on yourself, Gemini, is one thing that I just want to remind you of, and the outcome is the Queen of Wands. So see a fire sign here. Now this is very similar to Leo, so it might be a Leo person. I want to say Aries is showing up as quite significant for you guys. Sagittarius and Leo are also. But so far I can see Aquarius. You know, we have a dearth of wands and swords. And underneath we have the Knight of Swords, which may mean that you're being a bit hasty. Okay, so don't be too hasty in rushing something. It's not the climate to rush anything in. You know, it's a good time to sit back and assess and just let things happen naturally and know that you don't have to force anything that's truly meant to be, okay? So, ooh. Okay. There's really a fire sign for some of you. Could be a Leo. He's sitting smack bang in the reading, and he's the outcome. Crossed by the Eight of Wands. Yes, you're miscommunicating with a fire sign for sure, or an individual, possibly in career, because Wands can be career. You know, communication's off. Do you know, I'm seeing this very much as mixed messages. You may be getting them, or the other person may be getting them, especially if it's a Leo. The communication between you guys, it's not great. Especially when it comes to travel plans. I do think travel's aspected here in somewhat. Could be a long distance relationship where you're assessing what commitment you can give to the relationship. But there's definitely fire here. Some of you have definitely physically relocated or are considering that. very clear themes for you guys. You may also be thinking of changing jobs, but you've not found anything that's suited. This is your past energy, so I think this is the sign for those of you that haven't been certain about what you want from your career in life, that you're going to get the go ahead to figure that out when the new moon arises. Now we have the King of Swords as well at the top. This could be a Libra, Aquarius, or another Gemini. Some very distinctive people in this. He's with the Fool, so this could be someone very carefree. As I said, that Venus and Libra aspect adds a more light and fluffy element to your romantic life. And the fates are about to change. So I think with the 10 of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune, which is also a 10, you've successfully, and I mean successfully, so successfully completed a cycle, a universal cycle. You've had to go through something time and time and time again to come out the other end, and you finally got it. And I think this is much to do with the retrograde cycle, where it comes back and teaches us things that we've not learned. Nothing goes away until it teaches us what we need to know. You've finally done it, Gemini. Something is coming to an end. A way of thinking, maybe. A way of dealing with relationships, maybe. Can't help but notice as well that the 10 of Wands and the 10, the wheel, adds up to 20, and this is the 20th of August is when Mercury goes direct. So I think, from what I can see, it's been a struggle until that point, but from the 20th onwards, you have very, very strong momentum. Now, there is a shadow period after Mercury, but I don't feel like you're even going to notice it. I think you're going to really charge ahead, to be honest with you. Especially those of you that want to move. Just an earth sign. There's a King of Wands, a King of Swords, and a King of Pentacles all here in one go. Now, for those of you that have been dealing with an earth sign, there's a potential for a third party situation, potentially. Or this could be either someone you were involved with that was involved with somebody else, or it could be you were involved with two people. It could also be that you met this person while socializing in festivities, because it's with the Three of Cups. So the 3 can mean either or. It depends on the surrounding aspects. The World card as well, and your hopes and fears. A lot of you do want to make a move. A lot of you do want to end a cycle. A lot of you want big changes to happen. And you have to be open to embracing love. You have to be open to embracing chances, even if they weren't necessarily appearing in the form you expected them to. This is one clear message coming through here. You need to be very wary of rejecting things for no reason, just because they don't look exactly as you'd hoped. With the amount of retrogrades, things may manifest slower, but they may also manifest in different forms that aren't entirely recognizable, okay? So this may be in the form of a fire sign. Maybe you were involved with an air sign and it doesn't work out there and you're upset, and you meet this wonderful fire sign and you're like, but it's not the air sign. You know, why wouldn't you take that chance if that is someone that can make you happy? It could be vice versa. It could be you wanted to be with the earth sign, then you meet an air sign. But I see you meeting somebody and you're not necessarily taking them up on the offer because you're more wary of it not being the exact wish you wanted. You're deliberately restricting yourself in your romantic life, even though you have more options than you've ever done, it's odd, I must say. You seem to be surrounded by these kings here and even the queens, and you're not taking them up on the options, taking them up on their offers. With Venus in Libra, you know, that happens once a year. That's not gonna last all year, and it's the best part for you. So be wary of it, Gemini. I think some of you that are thinking a third party situation, maybe where you are somebody's other person, it's not going to work out for you, because the full moon, the way the moons are working, the truth always comes out. So be prepared to go for something better where you're not I don't know, where you're not why wouldn't you want to be the big deal? This is your energy, the Magician, manifestations. As I said, you're manifesting things even though maybe right now you can't see them. There's something going on with an air sign. This could also be you getting in your own way of your manifestations, getting in your own way of the offers that are coming to you. I just see this as from the 20th onwards, things change. And, you know, the scariest thing in the world is ironically getting what you want. Because once you get it, it means so much more, and you're so much more worried about losing it. So don't be glass half empty about it. Don't try and talk it down. Don't try to dull it down. Be excited about it and trust the universe, because the universe is very clearly giving you a message here that what's happening is meant to happen, okay? So there may have been conflict coming in here, and I do feel like this is surrounding travel and inheritance. For some of you, there's been family arguments about inheritance, and this has come up for a few of the signs, I must say. So somebody needs to hear it. Yeah, there's that spark, especially in career, that spark of what it is that you want to do. A creative drive. You're going to be creatively driven by the end of the month. Now, Virgo, if I'm not mistaken, is your 4th house. So when the sun moves into Virgo on the 24th, you may be having more peace with your family or your roommates or your home situation. There'll be a lot more momentum there built up, and things will be progressing nicely. So don't worry about that. There is definitely earth signs in the periphery here of the King and Queen of Pentacles. We have healing between you and possibly the earth sign that I'm referring to. It could be Capricorn, Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, but it could also be their moon or rising sign, so don't hold them to it. There seems to be healing of rifts, or there seems to be an earth sign coming in that you meet in a social situation, and they're very healing for you. They're very loving energy. You're hoping for some healing too. But you have to be wary, Gemini, of pushing somebody away or leaving them out in the cold, especially if it's a fire sign. If there has been an Aquarius that hurt you, they seem to be here. They do seem to be here. If they've gone away, I feel like they might be, they're still living in your subconscious, or they're in your environment, either or, they're in your head. And you have the option to start over with a fire sign. Or if this is starting over with a fire sign that's hurt you, the option is there. But in terms of your communication, I feel like you're not getting each other at the moment. And you're also not getting your career. You're not getting the people that you work with. You're not getting where you're going with things. You're very confused for the first 20 days of the month. And after that, there's a complete shift. And I mean, it's so intense with the Wheel of Fortune here and the Ace of Wands. It's going to be so positive. But you're going to get an offer, be it career or be it romantic, and you're going to want to reject it because you're either scared of it, or you are you feel like you're not ready. Maybe you feel like you're not good enough. You feel like it's not appearing the way you thought it would, and you're going to be tempted to reject it. I would say don't, because if you reject it, you're going to feel very out in the cold. This could be a person you may not get a second chance with. It could be a person that you may not find somebody quite like again. There's actually a lot of good qualities to this person. They're very enthusiastic. They're very enthusiastic, and they're very warm. And you might want to wait out for the person that hurt you instead. So it depends, Gemini, you have your own decisions to make this month, but be wary of rejecting them by coming from a lower self perspective, where you fear giving up the person for whatever reason that hurt you. You fear you're not ready for an opportunity. You feel like you're not good enough for an opportunity. You feel the other person could do better. Something like that. Daft thinking, silly things. Don't deny yourself through your fear is one thing I'm getting for you, Gemini, because a lot's going to become clear. around this full moon, and you want to make sure you've not missed out on an opportunity by being scared of it. So I hope you enjoyed that reading, Gemini, and I'll see you in September. Bye.